Hello everyone, my name is Callista Fong and welcome to Lake Roland Park. This is a 503-acre park located just north of Baltimore City, and today we're going to be going on a field trip through its rich history, some of its modern conservation efforts, and the rare and fascinating serpentine barrens. Lake Roland has been a central part of Baltimore's landscape since the mid-1800s. Originally established as part of the city's public water supply, it provided drinking water to residents for decades. The dam you see today was built in 1861 and created what was then known as the Lake Roland Reservoir. However, by the early 20th century, as newer reservoirs came online, the lake was retired from water service, but the surrounding land was preserved as a public space. Here you can see a few shots of the dam from a couple of different angles from near the roadside and then here on the bridge. Over the years, the area transitioned into a cherished recreation space. Residents come here to fish, hike on any one of the 6 established trails, or maybe a combination of them, picnic on the grass or on one of the numerous tables available to the public, or even take their kids to Acorn Hill, which is a natural play area. To backtrack a bit, it was in the late 1900s that the land was designated as Lake Roland Park, and it is maintained by Baltimore County on a 100-year lease deal with Baltimore City. Local conservation groups also step in to help maintain and protect the land, which is home to wetlands, meadows, and mature hardwood forests. The biggest example of a local conservation group taking charge is the Lake Roland Nature Council, or the LRNC, a membership-based, volunteer, nonprofit organization dedicated to the stewardship of Lake Roland Park. Today, Lake Roland Park offers far more than just recreation. It serves as a vital green space for urban residents, providing physical and mental health benefits, opportunities for environmental education, and critical ecosystem services. So let's take a walk through. The wetlands and forests help filter stormwater, reducing runoff pollution into the Jones Falls and ultimately Chesapeake Bay, and they also help mitigate flood risks. The trees capture carbon, which helps buffer the effects of climate change, and the diverse habitats support local wildlife, all from migratory birds to any other native animal in the area. Conservation efforts at Lake Roland include invasive species control. That means controlling invaders, just like this garlic mustard that I took an embarrassing amount of photos of prior to realizing that it was an invasive species. This also includes habitat restoration, trail maintenance, and community science projects like bird counts and water quality monitoring. Volunteers and park staff work to remove aggressive invaders like Japanese stiltgrass and multiflora rose, and they also help to restore wetlands and riparian buffers with native plantings. Wildlife monitoring projects track migratory birds, amphibians, and pollinators, while water quality initiatives focus on managing stormwater runoff and reducing erosion into the Jones Falls watershed. The Lake Roland Nature Council also plays a crucial role in coordinating these efforts by hosting volunteer events, educational workshops, and school partnerships. Together, these initiatives help ensure that the park remains a thriving natural space in the heart of a busy metropolitan area, offering both ecological value and community connection. Adding on to this community building aspect of the park, we need to look no further than the park's Nature Center. This building was manufactured through sustainable materials and prides itself on its carefully considered sustainable design and its use of electricity. It is here that the Nature Council provides year-round education programs, sustainable arts and crafts activities, and event programming. When it isn't actively hosting an event or a program, it's open to the public to pick up a nature-related book. I, for one, flipped through one on animal tracking. You could also meet any one of the critters that they house, such as bunnies or turtles, or you could also ask a ranger a question about the park. Or, if you're me, you can spend a few more minutes staring at this guy trying to swim through the glass. Beyond all of these little friends, you can also find a ton of different little artifacts, pelts, feathers, and photographs of different aspects of the park. And yeah, then there's also this bunny here trying to eat through a box. Not the smartest critter, but definitely mighty. Then right outside of the Nature Center, you can see one of the projects that we just talked about. It's a do-it-yourself sort of salad bar. This showcases how you can easily grow different produce together for your own consumption. Walking through the abundantly green and diverse forest, you might never guess that within Lake Roland is one of the rarest habitats in Maryland. the Serpentine Barrens, which is an ecosystem that's far different from any other. While here you might still see all of the trees characteristic of your average forest, as we start walking through, just about now, you'll notice that the soil has suddenly gotten much rockier along the trail. Serpentine soils are a result of the weathering and breakdown of ultramafic rock types, such as periodite, which are found in the upper mantle. These ultramafic rocks then form into serpentinite, a metamorphic rock that forms serpentine soils when it weathers. They're high in magnesium and heavy metals like nickel, chromium, and iron, but extremely low in nutrients like calcium, potassium, and nitrogen. On the surface, the soil is thin and rocky due to weathering, and they hold water poorly. Although, on a deeper level, the soils are less chemically influenced by the serpentinite. These harsh conditions limit what can grow here, so only highly specialized plants have adapted to survive. It is because of their rarity that conservation is so important. Here on this map, you can see an overlay of the serpentine soils area versus the park boundaries. On this map, the core stewardship area of the park for these sensitive soils. And now a drone shot of what these areas look like as of 2018. The portion of the park dedicated to serpentine soils is known as Bear Hills Barrens, and here you'll find native grasses like little bluestem, prairie dropseed, and Indian grass. Rare wildflowers include species like the flame flower, which I was able to catch just at the end of this video, and various milkweed varieties. These each cling to life in these nutrient-poor soils. Looking on the woodier side, you can find post oaks and blackjack oaks, whose forms speak to centuries of adaptation, well accustomed to nutrient soils, but also oftentimes outcompete their lower growing friends, which we'll get into a bit later. These barrens also support unique wildlife, such as specialized pollinators, rare butterflies, and ground nesting birds that rely on the open, sunlit spaces. However, without regular disturbances such as fire or trampling by larger animals, these areas would quickly be overtaken by woody plants, shading out the delicate serpentine grassy specialists. So that's kind of why conservation matters here so much. Park managers and volunteers work to manage encroaching trees, control invasive plants, and sometimes use prescribed burns in order to carefully mimic the natural processes that have historically maintained these open barrens. Walking through this park just a bit once more, we can see how Lake Roland Park is a place where history, recreation, and rare conservation priorities have come together. By preserving places like the Serpentine Barrens, we're not just protecting rare plants, but we're also safeguarding the ecological richness, educational value, and the natural heritage of Baltimore. Thank you so much for joining me on this virtual field trip. If you learned something, I'm so glad, and if I inspired you to visit Lake Roland, I am equally happy. It's a wonderful place filled with many wonderful things, and I hope we all get to experience it for generations to come. Thank you.